Hi guys, I'm back. Sorry it's taken me a while, but I have to come up with themes to talk about. So it's taken me a few days. Plus, if you see me looking down, it's because I have notes. I don't want to do you guys a disservice and miss something. But if I do miss something, I will put it in the comments below and I'll pin it. I hope everybody's good. They're healthy, keeping colds and the flu and the beer virus at bay. And so I'd like to talk about fostering. Do you have what it takes? Fostering takes time, dedication, commitment, and a lot of love. It's a thankless job. But in the end, when they go at your door and they get adopted, then that's the best feeling you could ever get. Don't foster if you have senior cats. You don't want to upset them. It's not a good idea at all. You want to have cats that are outgoing and they can get along with other cats. Young kids, you do not want to have young kids around cats that you're bringing into the home. They may be feral, they may be semi-feral, they may be older house cats that have to be rehomed. So you need to make sure that if you have kids that they understand rules and they can follow them. Do not foster if your animals, your cats, are not fully vaccinated and up to date. It's not a good idea. Foster cats can bring in kennel cough. They can bring upper respiratory infections. You don't want that. You don't want to have to bring your own animals. Dogs can get this as well, but you don't want to bring your cats into the vets. That's one thing you just don't want. Okay. The ideal home. You've got time, extra time on your hands. You work from home. You can keep an eye on them more frequently. A space to keep them would be in a room that you can close a door, a spare room, your bedroom. You can do your bedroom. You can do in the basement, as long as there's a door and it's warm enough. You got to keep them warm because cats can get sick too. You can do them in a cage, but I'm not much of a cage person. But if you need to put them in a cage, you can put them in a cage and they're safe, and you need to keep them quarantined for at least 7 to 10 days. That way, if you hear sneezing or coughing or they're stuffed up, you can catch on quick and you can tackle the issue with the organization or rescue that you're dealing with, that you're working for. You don't want your pets getting sick. So quarantining the animals are the best bet. Okay, so if you're going to put them in a room, now some cats, I'm not saying all of them, some cats and kittens, younger cats, they sometimes will chew on wires. So what you want to do is, if you have a spare room and you want to put them in the spare room and there's a TV, unplug the TV, coil up the plug and the wires, and keep them away from little people. If you don't want to unplug, I suggest getting a toilet paper rolls, joining them all together, and then feeding the wires through it so that they can't chew on it and they'll just chew on the cardboard. I would strongly suggest that you check your wires on a daily basis. They can get electrocuted, they can get shocked. But you don't want to have to replace, a TV down the line, or have to rewire it because somebody's chewed through it. Another thing is, you want to block off your bed. You can get 2x4s or planks and just block off your bed so that if they get underneath there and you need to get them, you're going to have to pull out your bed to grab them. for a fire emergency, or just even getting them. It's a pain in the butt. So you want to block off hiding spaces too. So you want to eliminate all that because you're trying to get them accustomed to being in a home, being around people. You don't want them afraid. You want them comfortable in their situation. What else? You have a window. You want to make sure that your screens are newly updated. Push on them if they're moving around. You want to fix that. If your screen has holes in it, replace the screening. Screening is quite cheap. Replace the screening or ask your landlord, superintendent to replace it for you way before you start doing fostering. I personally had a tragedy, and I don't want anybody to have to go through that ever again. Cats like looking at windows. They like watching everything. So you want to have like a table or something for them to get up on freely to look out the window. And they like fresh air too. So it wouldn't hurt to crack the window a bit in the wintertime for like an hour or maybe 30 minutes at a time, so that they can sit in there, enjoy the fresh air, enjoy the sun, the birds, everything. It's enlightening to them, believe me. If there's something in your room, the room that you don't want destroyed, special bedding, a mattress cover, a plastic mattress cover would be wonderful, just in case somebody has an accident or throws up. You want to be able to clean up that mess easily. Getting yourself a green machine. If you're interested, they're amazing. I've had mine for over 10 years. Somebody barfs, throws up, accident, you can get to it. It's quick. It cleans up the mess. What else? Yeah, so anything you have in your room that you don't want destroyed, remove it. What else? Cats are natural pickers. And when they pick, they leave their scent from their paws on items. Before I got Rusty, he used to pick at my dad's mattress on the corner. I don't know why. He hasn't picked up mine, mainly because it's not his bedroom. It's basically Mimi's, and he doesn't stay in that room. He used to sleep on my dad's bed and go underneath the sheets and everything, like, so he doesn't even bother. But cats will pick. They will pick at mattresses. They will pick at walls. They will pick at carpeting, you name it. So what you want to do is you want to have a couple of cat scratchers, 2 different ones available for them to paw at, scratch at. But if you keep their nails cut every week and stay on top of it, you really won't have much of a problem. If I expose one part of one of my couches, Tabitha will go to it and she will pick. But if I cover it with a chair, she can't pick at that corner anymore, so she goes back to picking at her chair. And I'm okay with that. That's her chair. She's had that. If I could burn that when she goes, she'll be happy in heaven with it. So yes, cats' natural thing to do is pick. They will pick. So you got to stay on top of that. Provide scratch pads. Watering stations. Some cats like fresh water, so they like fountains. You can get a fountain for about $30 at PetSmart. I think that's how much I paid for mine. It's quite cute. It's easy to put together, easy to maintain. Their cat thing looks like this. And it glows in the dark too. It's really neat. So you might want to get a fountain. If not, if you're just starting, you don't have a lot of money on you, go for your bowls. But you want to keep clean water in them on a daily basis. Every time I basically feed my cats, I change the water, except for the cat fountain. I will do that once a day. Even though there's a filter, cats like fresh water. I have one with kidney disease and one that's got diabetes, so they're constantly drinking, and I want fresh water for them on the daily. So yeah, if you want to, a couple of bowls, and don't really put them near their food. They don't like, most cats don't like having water right beside their food. And some of them will throw the chibble in there for some reason, showing their displeasure. So 2 different spots in the room with water. You might want to get like a mat or something so that, to catch the water, something absorbent. Food, a couple of food bowls. Depends on how many cats you have, 1, 2, 3. I would only take 1 to 2 at a time myself, so I would get like 2 food bowls. Poo box, litter box. Keep it fresh, keep it clean every day. Add more litter to it. It's by a custom, 1 litter box per cat. So if you have 2 cats, 2 litter boxes, keep them clean every day so you don't have accidents and displeasure amounts somewhere in the bedroom that you don't want to see. Okay. You want to invest in some toys. You can get a lot of them at the dollar store. Crinkle things, collapsible tunnels. You can get empty boxes and make beds out of that. You can make tunnels out of empty boxes. Some stores will have boxes at the end of the registers that people can use for their groceries. Grab a couple of them. Do something fun. They love to tunnel. They love to run around. A big toy that I used to have was the stick with the dangly toy at the bottom. My kittens loved that. I think I went through maybe 5, 6, 7 of them when I was fostering, because they just totally just go through them like mad. What you want to do also is you want to post a note on the room that they're at, saying do not enter cats inside, or be careful, a cat might get out, so be careful opening this door. You want to post that so that grandkids or company knows, just in case somebody opens the door. You don't want the cat flying out. Not only that, if you're getting cats that are almost in season and they're just ready to be fixed, but they're not fixed yet, but they're on the wait list, you want to keep them in a room and away from the possible exit strategy, going out the back door, front door, windows, you name it. You want to keep them calm, cool, collect, and you don't want them running out on you, because you'll never find them. And if you do, you're lucky. They play. They constantly like to play. And with younger cats, they usually play first thing in the morning, either before or after a meal, and they usually play later at night is when they come alive. Usually during the day, they're just sleeping and kind of lazy and stuff like that. So it's good if you have the time to put in early in the morning before you go to work, like 15, 20 minutes just to get them going. Get them used to being, accustomed to people, accustomed to playing and doing all that fun stuff. Nighttime is the best. You get them all wound up, you give them a treat, and then they're usually too wired up, and then they get all tired, and they're not going to want to play while you're sleeping. That's one thing you just don't want, jingle bells going across the floors, or somebody caterwauling, or things crashing that aren't supposed to be crashing. So you want to get their energy up in the morning, and you want to get their energy going just before it's time for them to eat, and then their reward is feeding them or giving them a treat, and then they're done. Done is done, and they're usually like too worn out to be doing anything else. They'll go to sleep. You want to bring them into a quiet space for the meantime, but do your regular things. You need to get them used to vacuuming, the way of life, TV going. You can even have a radio going in the bedroom for them so that they're used to noise. Too quiet, they tend to get kind of scared, but you want a spot where they're not going to be overstressed, because like the first week or two, they're just trying to get used to where they're at. It's a strange place. They, you know, they might hide a bit, but you know, you got to get in their faces, you got to play with them, you got to touch them, you got to love on them. People want loving cats, right? So you've got to do your job too, and what it entails. Grooming. If you can groom them in the room, out in the open, you can cut their nails, you can do their ears, brush them. Good. If you can't, bring them in the bathroom. It's smaller, confined, nobody's going to get hurt. You can take your time, they can walk around. You can get to know the feel of the cat and what kind of mood that they're in, and you know, you might have to take some breaks. Now, if you cannot do their nails, do not push it, because you're going to get hurt and they're going to get ticked off with you. So if you have a friend that's willing to come over once a week or once every 2 weeks, and you hold the cat and they do the nails, or if you feel more comfortable doing their nails, then they hold the cat and you do their nails. But keeping them trimmed is a good idea. You don't want them curling into their fingers or their pads. That really hurts. Some outdoor cats, when you get them, I had a couple of them that were really bad. Bruno, he was an outdoor cat, and he was so lovey-dovey. He was so sweet. He was just like Tabitha. And I had to go at him with the brush, the Slicka brush, every day for at least a month. I was brushing this boy, and I was getting so much hair off of him. You thought I was getting like 2 cats instead of 1, because when they're outside, their fur changes twice a year. So they get rid of the winter coat in the spring, then come near the end of the summer, they build up the coat again, right? So if nobody's brushing them, all this fur is just all gathering, and it's a mess. But just gently go at it. If you can do it every other day, every day, if they're willing to let you do that, great. But yeah, some cats that you'll get in will have more hair than others. So another thing is, don't bath a cat. A cat does not need a bath, not unless it's a messy eater. Just take a cloth and wipe their face. Other than that, you know, really, cats don't need baths. The only reason why I bath Tabitha once in a blue moon is because she can't lick herself because she's fat. So I've given her 1 bath so far. She's trusted me, and I've had her for a long time. So giving them a bath, if they're fat and overweight, will help free up all the dander that's sitting on the skin and the dust from the litter boxes. It's ideal, but I wouldn't suggest you do it. If you have a cat that's a little bit messy or dry skin, maybe getting a wet cloth and just rubbing it across their fur and their skin, you know, and just trying to loosen up some of that so that they're not as itchy as what they are. So what you want to do is, if you've decided that, hey, I really want to do this, I'm really passionate, I want to be a foster mommy, or foster daddy, or foster couple, or foster grandparents, whatever you want to call yourselves, you need to pick a rescue or an agency, and you need to ask questions. And if you're not comfortable, keep on asking more until you get the answers that you need before you proceed. Because you don't want to get into something and then realize, uh-oh, I don't want anything to do with this. Is there someone after hours that you can call? So if a cat is really sick, or unruly, or something's wrong, you have somebody to call and let them know what's going on, or they can give you advice on what to do, or you can take them to an emergency veterinarian and they can meet you there, what have you. Just, you need some kind of support sometimes when you do these jobs. Is there emergency care involved? You want to ask that. If there's an emergency that comes up, do I call you? Who do I call? Do I bring the cat to you, or do I meet you at a certain spot? You want to ask about vetting. Have they had their first needles? Have they had all of their needles? Are they fixed? Or when are they in line to get fixed? How soon? Are they defleed? Have they been dewormed? You want to know these. You want to ask, and don't be afraid, how old are these cats that you're going to get? Are they kittens? Are they, older kittens? Kittens, I mean, under the age of 8 weeks. You really don't want to do kittens under the age of 8 weeks. You don't. You don't. You want them weaned. You want them litter box ready. You want them eating food, solid food, wet food, what have you. So don't be afraid to say, hey, no, I don't want to do kittens under the age of 8 weeks. And that's up to you. Don't let anybody push you if you don't want to do it, because kittens is a lot of work. A lot of work. You want to ask too, are they feral? Where did this cat come from? What's their backstory? Are they non-feral, or are they being rehomed? You want to know their story so that you can, understand them on a personal level. You want to also ask, is food and litter, are they going to provide that? Because that's a lot for you to take on if you're doing extra litter and extra food on your budget. So having a company that says, hey, yeah, we'll give you the cat, we'll give you the litter, give you the food, just help socialize them, help them get them ready. And you want to ask, how long of a time period do I have with this cat, or 2 cats, 3 cats? How much time do I have? So that you can, know and then get on it and start working your magic with them. Are they litter trained? You got to know, because if they're not litter trained, then you need to start pulling some stuff up out of the way, because there's going to be uh-ohs. Yeah. Next, do I let them go outside? Hard no. If you have a cat that's not fixed and they're in line next to get fixed within the next few weeks, nope. Don't do it. Don't do it. Even if your yard is, cat friendly, cat safe, I wouldn't. Do not let them outside. You'll never see them again. Half the time these collars are breakaway, so if they get caught or something, it'll give way at some point, and bye-bye, cat. If you have a cat that's fixed and it really, really wants to go outside, for a little bit, then put a collar on, put a lead on them, tack it to something, and sit out there with them. Do not leave them alone. They will get tangled within 5 minutes. It's true. And you don't want them, choking. You don't want them stuck. You don't want them pulling too hard, and then they get loose and then they're gone. Now, if you're in an apartment and you have a balcony, no. If it is all screened in, nice condo-ish, and the screen is all in great pristine shape, then go ahead. If your balcony has bird netting, check everything to make sure that it's in tip-top condition, and check to see if you can get your hand outside that netting. If it is, you're going to have to do some preparing before you let any cat out there. And don't let them go out there for long periods of time. Check in on them every half hour, every 45 minutes in the beginning to see what they're up to. Other than that, no. Do not let them go out on a balcony when it's not safe or covered. I do not recommend it. They will jump. They will jump. I'm going to touch on kittens just a little bit. Do not let anybody push you to taking kittens in and fostering them if they have no mother. If they have a mother, great. But there's some people that'll dump cats on agencies, and then agencies are like, here, take these, foster them for me. I have a story that I will share later on, but I wasn't comfortable, but I felt bad, so I took kittens on. Kittens need to be fed every 2 hours by bottle. That's formula. They have to be cleaned. Their bottoms need to be cleaned after they eat until they defecate and pee, because that's what their mothers do. They need to be warm. They need to be kept warm. They can't be in any drafts. If you have a cage, you have to make sure that the cage is nice and warm, so you have nice warm bedding. three sides of the cage should be covered in breathable blankets with them facing out. You want to keep them nice and comfortable. They cannot be using litter boxes under the age of, I think it's like 6 or 7 weeks, because they will ingest it, it'll clog their intestines, and they will die. Without mothers, kittens have about, I think, a survival rate of 80 to 90% death rate. So having their mother there and nursing them and taking care of them is priority. If you have kittens and you're doing this all on your own, you are more apt to having them die on you, and you need to be prepared for that. I know some people are really touchy with death. I would not suggest you do fostering of kittens if that's how you feel. Kittens are a lot of work, blood, sweat, and tears, and if you have the time and you have like what it takes, then go for it. But me personally, I would not suggest it. It's just, and they have to be quarantined all the time. You cannot mix them with anybody, because they will pick up anything. They're just like babies, like human babies. They don't have enough fat on them, so they need to be kept warm all the time. So there's special people out there that do neonatal. Hats off to them, because it's not a job for me. You want the most easiest, happiest way to deal with things, and kitten fostering is the hardest and the heartbreaking of all of them. So if I miss anything, I will write in the comments below. If you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, share this video with your friends and family, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Blessings. Bye.